Jim, that's Warren. You're watching Vendor Corner, brought to you by Decades Reclaimed Vintage Depot. This is show number, what show number is it? 33. Yes. We're brought to you by Decades, located in Central Florida. If you're ever in the area, if you're ever in Central Florida, Lakeland to be specific, give us a call. Let us know you're here. If we're going to do a show, maybe we'll put you on as a guest.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool to have a
Yeah.
guest. We got to get a phone a guest. We did phone a guest. Remember years ago when we were doing Talking Vintage, we did phone a guest.
Yeah.
We're going to have to do that again on this show. What is this show? This is Vendor Corner. It is a show for vendors in a shop or a mall like Decades Reclaimed Vintage Depot. It's a place to learn what we do. It's a place to talk about the topics of our type of business, being vendors or booth owners in a mall like Decades. There you go. We have a couple topics to discuss today. Actually, three of them. Number one would be, do you buy things from Temu? Number two, let's talk about picking. And number three is selling collectibles. Yeah, that's us, selling collectibles. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Let's start off with, do you buy stuff from Temu? Do you even know what Temu is?
I've seen it online, but I've never touched it. So.
Okay, Warren doesn't know what Temu is, so he's probably not going to interject a whole lot in there. But a lot of vendors out there buy from Temu. Temu is like a Chinese discount store, like a Chinese dollar store.
Okay.
And a lot of people that are in this industry, they buy stuff from Temu for just kind of fill in things, you know, and like keychains and stuff like that. And a lot of people were against it. They, you know, for political reasons, they felt you shouldn't support, you know, the Chinese government and all that other stuff and Chinese trade and blah, 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 blah. Okay, my question would have to be, you know, would your store allow it? Here at Decades Reclaimed Vintage Depot, we are 80% vintage, 20% vintage-like. You know, I can't say would never. We aren't allowed to sell certain things. We're not allowed to sell CDs.
Oh yeah.
We can't sell guns.
Right,
I mean,
right.
guns, that's probably a legal thing.
Okay.
We can't sell CDs or DVDs. We're not going to sell anything that is currently made in the same format. So CDs are still made. DVDs are still made in the same exact format. VHS, even though they don't sell well, are allowed. The only exception I could think would be LPs, because albums are still pressed, but not all albums are still pressed, you know, but a new album, you know, they might drop Pink Floyd, The Wall, you know, in 2025 as a reprint or whatever. But that's more of a collectible thing, and collectible is okay here at the shop. But yeah, I don't know. So, you know, my thing is, does your shop allow it? And if they do, you know, what are the rules? I mean, you don't want to wind up being a flea market.
No.
We would never allow that. No. We would never allow it. You can't sell phone cases here because they're still made in the same format. I'm trying to think of other stuff.
Now, does Temu sell older stuff, or is it all newer?
I mean, they might sell some reproduction type stuff.
But nothing.
No. But one of the examples was that people sell little crochet keychains. You know, we have a vendor that makes crochet and all sorts of stuff. So, I mean, that kind of, it fits. It's homemade, handmade, you know.
Right.
Yeah. But, so that's it. So if your shop allows it, I guess it's okay. I'm not going to get into the political end of it. You know,
Right.
I'm not. People are just against it just to be against it, I think. So we're just, here I am starting to say stuff. So we're just going to move on from that. Here we go. Let's talk about picking. I'm going to talk about my last 5 picks. Okay. My last one was Flywheelers. It is a tractor show in Fort Meade, which is not too far away from here, from Lakeland. It's a real pick to find deals. There are lots of vendors, and there's lots of digging and lots of dealing to get where I need to be. I'll explain quickly my philosophy is I do a 30% rule. I'm going to spend 30% on the item. It's going to take me 30% of the cost of selling that item, the price that I put on it, and then I'm going to make the 30. So if I've got something for $90 or something I think I can sell for $90, I will only pay 30 for it because there's my 30 to whoever I bought it from. 30 cost me 30 to sell it. That's the percentage to the store, my rent, all that kind of stuff, my time, my tags, everything. And then at the end of the day, I'm making 30%. So in order to make 30% at Flywheelers, I really have to dig. But you get good deals down there. People bundle up a lot of stuff. So, yeah, we'll talk about it because it returns on my,
Yeah, well, that's, you do it a lot. Well, you do it every year.
So, yeah, I stay at that 30% rule for the most part, but I'm building the display at the show for the shop. So sometimes I jump up a little bit on my pricing if I like the piece and want to put it in my display. So I go Warren's, let's just say Warren's a vendor at this Flywheelers, and I want an oil can from him, a big oil can. I might pay up a little bit, and I will take that oil can and go put it in my display. I do not sell my display items. They're just to advertise the shop. So, yeah, that's it. And I kind of tend to do my gas and oil thing, lots of gas and oil items at Flywheelers. That's what I'm looking for, but I do buy other stuff. Okay, my next latest pick was a walk-in comics to the shop. It's somebody I had dealt with before, but I think I might have overpaid for them. Yeah. And I say that, I think I might have overpaid. I did that when I wrote the show here, and I'm going to tell you how it went out, how it wound up, really. I didn't think I had anything for quick sale to make the quick turnaround to get my money back. And I was hoping that I would. But
Sure.
But I was here. I had that feeling that I just overpaid, and I was like, oh my gosh. The comics were horrible condition, very, very dirty. Had to wipe each one off, had to board and back them all. And then there was a few in there that I thought were reprints, and they weren't. So I did get my money back almost immediately. Within a day, I sold them to a comic vendor who has a store. I flipped them to him. I made a little bit of money. I'll be able to give some money back to the person I bought them from. And then, I'm already in the plus. And then I've got all the other comics, which won't make me a ton of money. There was only like one key in the whole entire stack. And a key comic is a comic that has relevance in the series, whether it's first appearance of somebody or somebody dying or something like that. That's called a key comic. So there was only one key. So hopefully I'll sell that, make a little bit, and be done with them all. All right, my third latest pick was a walk-in dolls walk-in. And when I say a walk-in, I'm the shop owner here at Decades Reclaim Vintage Depot, and I have rights to anything that comes in the shop for first purchase, and then kind of move on from there. If I don't want it, I'll extend it to somebody else who might want it. But these were dolls. They were all decent stuff. I'll get my money back, but hopefully we'll make money. There was a couple dolls in there. One of them was a Vogue doll in a little case, and some Barbie friend or something like that. And they're going to be sold on eBay. It's not something I do, but I have a friend that does that, and so I give her the things to sell on eBay, and I split the profits with her. So that'll pay for the dolls are paid for what we put in the shop, but that'll give us a little bit of profit. Okay. My fourth latest pick was back to Flywheelers. Yeah. Same as the last one, gas and oil. I supplemented my Beanie Babies. I got Beanie Babies way back, and that's not one of mine. No, Beanie Babies is a while back. I got Beanie Babies right before Christmas, I think, sometime in December. I bought a collection of Beanie Babies. Didn't think much of them, but they're cute for kids, something for kids to buy and stuff like that. And I've been selling a lot of them. So when I was at Flywheelers last time, a guy had them, and they were super cheap, 50 cents a piece. And I bought a bunch of them to supplement the ones I had already sold. So I did get a bundle of trinket boxes, which was really nice. Trinket boxes are trending in our shop. And I got a bundle of them, and one of them was like a dog trinket box. And I put that out to be sold online because it's over $100. I don't remember what I paid for the trinket box. I think it was $20 for like 6 of them. So I'm going to do really well on that. Definitely 30% rule on this last Flywheelers trip. I did buy some dishes, some Pyrex type stuff. I bought those for Terry, and those turned out to be really, really good. She'll do well on those. So my 30% rule, we got to give it a big yes for that one. On the last one, the action figures and the dolls, 30% rule for sure on that. Anytime anything goes to eBay and can be sold for money, you're pretty much, you're going to make that 30% rule. All right, my last pick. An old friend contacted me. It's not the best type of pick. I always overpay when it comes to friends. Always. I got a ton of stuff. I had some quick sales in that through the Pokemon that I got, and the brass swans. Remember those? I sold
Oh,
those.
yeah, those are pretty cool.
But I am far away from breaking even, and I have most of it sitting, waiting to be tagged and put out. And there's no quick sales on it. It'll be a grind. It'll be a year before I see all my money back. And then I don't even know if I'll ever get into profit. It's the worst type of pick for me, is taking stuff from friends.
Yeah.
Because you try to explain it to them, but they're heartbroken to find out that their stuff, you're only going to give them 30%. They think you're sliding them, But again, I gave this guy a bunch of money. And yet I sold some stuff quickly, but I'm a third of the way back on my money. I've got most of it sitting in there. A lot of it's going to be very, very slow selling, niche type stuff,
Yeah.
like the hockey stuff, niche. We're in Florida. Not a lot of hockey around here, but that type of stuff. There's there's a little bit in there that might help me out, but yeah, as far as that goes, not a good thing. All right, what's your most recent pick? Just give me your last one.
My last one was my own yard, my own house.
You can't call that
It's
a
a
pick.
pick.
It is not.
If I haven't seen it in a year.
Oh my gosh, that's just because you're old and senile. Okay, so it was in your own house. The
my-
what? What did you pick out of your own house? More toys?
More toys.
Toys and collectibles, and we'll talk about
Yeah.
collectibles. Okay, are you going to make money sooner or later?
No,
Well,
no,
no, later
no.
because you already bought it years ago.
Yeah,
So
yeah, storage is
yeah,
killing me.
yeah,
So.
yeah. He doesn't follow the 30% rule. No, he just buys. He's just a buyer.
I haven't bought in
Yeah,
a while. That's why I
okay.
bought new picks. Buy my own stuff back.
Yeah. Buy your own stuff. You're not buying it. You're just pulling it out. So I don't know.
Oh.
Are we going to constitute that as a pick?
Nah.
What?
See, I don't have any recent picks then.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Well, there you go. That segment's done with. Let's talk about picking. All right. Next, we're going to talk about selling collectibles. We both do it. I sell Pokemon, sports cards, comics, Beanie Babies. You sell trains and toys as well as LPs, but that's been limited.
Right.
It's always up and down with collectibles. You got to, with collectibles, it's just crazy. You got to sell it when you can, because it's probably not going to be worth it tomorrow. Now that's probably not with albums so much. Well, like Pokemon, when it's hot and somebody makes you an offer on it, you got to let it go. I think back to packs that I had. I originally started selling them for $45, and then they went to $450, and then they kind of plateaued out at like $350, just packs. These are vintage packs of Pokemon, and I sold them at the last sale we had for half off. But again, I don't have a lot into them because I've had them forever. But yeah, so yeah, it's an up and down thing with collectibles. Our comics run hot and cold. The Beanie Babies, they've been steady, but they may just drop off. And I don't sell them as a collectible. I don't think people are buying them as a collectible. Nobody's coming in here and searching through to find that Princess Di bear with the error tag on it and stuff like that. And that's all part of collectible, is knowing all that kind of stuff. A sports card has an error on it. Is it graded? All that kind of stuff. There's a lot to go. So, like I said, Pokemon is on a huge high right now. I try to push out as much as I can, as fast as I can. Sports cards, the vintage end of sports cards is way, way, way down. People want the flavor of the week right now. So it's Shoni, what is this, Shoni Otani?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. He's a baseball player. His stuff is super hot. The next rookie that steps up into the bigs, his stuff will be super hot. So it's really, you gotta know it. You gotta get it gone. I just sell vintage sports cards, and a lot of times I just take what is ever offered. Really, I'm gonna be out of that game.
Don't they,
Comics.
the thing, if it's advertised as a collectible, it's not a collectible? Like Boyd Bears.
They're collectibles.
Yeah, but they're mass produced.
Oh,
so-
you're talking about like the stuff that was done in the
in
80s, the
mint,
Hamilton,
yeah, the mint, that kind of stuff.
Hamilton Company, the
Yeah,
plates and stuff
yeah.
like that. That's not a collectible.
Right, but it's advertised as a collectible.
Well, it is, but it's not because
Right.
nobody wants it anymore, so
Right.
you can't call it a collectible.
Right.
All right, we're going to move on to comics. It's all about the titles and the condition of the book. Here at Decades, I've been successful because I have built a base of collectors that come to buy comics from me. Same with Pokemon, and I always treat them right. They don't have to wait for a sale. They're automatically going to get 35% off if they're one of my collectors in both comics or Pokemon. So they come in quite a bit. They graze quite a bit. They come in, see what's new, and they purchase often when they come in because again 35% off.
good deal, yeah.
And then if I'm going to do a blowout thing with comics, like I'll do a private sale where all the comics are $2 no matter how much the price is on them, and that's just going to be for them. I bring them into the store before we open, give them half-hour increments so that they're not all trampling all over each other, and then they buy. And I make sure that I keep, if I do it started on a Thursday, I make sure I keep boxes of books back for Friday and Saturday as well. So they're not getting just the picked over stuff. Yeah. So, but building the base has been the biggest thing for me is both Pokemon and for comics. Yeah. I rely on those collectors to purchase from me to keep the things going. And yeah, we talked about the Beanie Babies already not being really collectible. I know they were at one time,
Right.
but I'm just selling them as a filler. So I don't even know if you kind of call them, I don't know if they're collectible or not anymore. All right. In closing, I want to thank everybody for watching. I'll give you final thoughts on our topics for the evening. Do you buy from Temu? I mean, if you do, just make sure it's tasteful and if it's within your store. Let's talk about picking. It's all different. For each person, it's different. But the worst thing for me is buying from friends. I know, I hate to say that. I hope none of my friends are watching. And then we talked about selling collectibles. You have to know what you're doing. You got to kind of build the base in order to get them going. That's it. Hey, appreciate everybody watching. I'm Jim. That's Warren. You've been watching Vendor Corner, brought to you by Decades Reclaimed Vintage Depot, located in Lakeland, Central Florida. If you're ever in our area, let us know. If we're getting ready to shoot a show, we would love to have somebody as a guest. Follow us here on YouTube every other Sunday night at 8 p.m. If you don't mind, give us a thumbs up and maybe subscribe to the channel.
Tell your friends.
Yeah, tell your friends. Yeah, we appreciate that. Have a great evening. See you next time.
Bye.
You see?
Are we
It
done?
did it again. No, it didn't. It's like at the end of a movie, if you watch a movie
Yeah.
and then the credits are rolling and all of a sudden they come up and they do another gig or something
Yep.
like that. It's just like that.
That's why
I don't know
never-
why when we press the button it does.